Hey, what's up everybody? Finally got a pickups video for you guys. Anyways, because of what this stupid program is doing and just myself being old and immature, profanity ridden video ahead, people. So for anybody new that's not used to my crazy ass, I was gonna say if you got kids, duct tape, earmuffs, whatever, but no. Just duct tape fixes everything, so just wrap your whole freaking house in duct tape, you should be good. Because, yeah, there's going to be profanity ahead once I get to this game. Which... Why? Why? It could have been so good. It's one of those games that really could have been good, and it's just the whole freaking aspect of it on a... yeah. Some things they do go a little too far, or a lot. So anyways, start with the newer games. This is pretty much all video games, and then I got a music CD to show you guys that I definitely recommend to any of you freaking metalheads out there. Just damn. Best album I've heard in I don't know how long, man. It's my new favorite. Otherwise, on with the show. Speaking of these games, I don't know if this is going to continue. I've only been there one more time after getting these and didn't look out as much, but these were cheap. Really, really freaking cheap. And then the guy behind the counter was nice to me as, no, I'm not going to get this stupid GameStop card that you gotta pay for, even if it is fairly cheap. I don't go there enough. Most of my games come from pawn shops, because GameStop usually has the games that I want more expensive than the pawn shops, where the pawn shop is just $8 or $10 no matter what frickin' game it is. It could be a $50 game, $8 or $10, man. They just level out the price. They don't care. So anyways, after the guy gave me the discount using his card, it's a pro membership, about $7.50 for 3 friggin' games that are all good ones. I do have these already on PS4, but when it comes to game systems, if I can get the same games on another system, I will, just to have backups. I did the same thing with the original Xbox and PS2, man. I'd have a lot of the same games on both systems because I like those games, and if one of the systems craps out, I can play them on another. Got the same thing here. It's got Deuce EX Mankind Divided Day 1 Edition. Wolfenstein 2 The New Colossus. And Rage 2. All for like $7.50. It's crazy cheap. Good time to collect for this system, man. It's crazy cheap. These two, actually all 3 of these that I'm going to show came from a pawn shop. Let's see, yeah, these 2 were $8 a piece. Got Gears of War Ultimate Edition. And this one they've remastered in 1080p, and then it's got 5 additional campaign chapters. So pretty cool. This one, people have ragged on it. I guess it didn't go over as good as it should have, because everybody are just, they're whiny little bitches now. Just quit complaining, be happy that you're getting a new game. But I do agree that sometimes when it comes to the bugs and everything in games, usually it's because we're whiny little bitches. We want it now, and they release it too early, and it's not been patched up and fixed yet, so you're getting a game that's not completed. And then you got to do all the updating and crap, which so far I've only had this one screw up a couple of times, which was no big deal. It was the usual kind of screw up on PS4 where it just freezes or whatever, and then you just start over from your last save point. Otherwise, one thing of advice on this, because it did get weird, and I'm thinking it's because when you're updating this one online, it also takes stuff off the disc. I recommend just popping the disc, get it all installed, do your update, and then play it. Don't try and do the thing to where you got it updating while you're playing it. Because what it did was slow down the frame rate to where it was like farting in the path of freaking Neo, to where it's just... It was weird. And all it took was just one guy to start fighting me, and that was enough to where it couldn't handle it. And it was just mostly slow, but those little subtle speed ups was enough to just make you nauseous. Really messed with your eyes. So I recommend just get it all freaking updated first. And that seems to pretty much fix everything, and maybe add on stuff or whatever. Because visually the game looks really good. Really good graphics. So anyways, got the day one edition of the Callisto Protocol. It's the one that everybody's comparing to the freaking Dead Space, which, yeah, it's got kind of a Dead Space feel. Just on the ways suit looks and stuff. Just like they took some stuff out of Dead Space to put it in this, but it's still a totally different game. Otherwise, man, for $8, oh hell yeah. Y'all finished up wrapping your house? Well, if not, whatever. It's one of those things to where I get my games from the pawn shops. I don't just look it up to watch a video like some of you might do, to check it out first. I just, oh wow, the cover looks cool, I'm going to grab it. Anyways, got a copy of Agony. If any of y'all played this game, y'all know what I'm going to be talking about here. I usually don't do this because I don't give a shit. But, yeah. Sure, mature, or immature, 17 plus. Because blood and gore, intense violence, nudity, strong language, strong sexual content. Strong sexual content. I'm gonna get old here. If anybody remembers the Beavis and Butthead episode where they encounter the dominatrix that's older and shit. Yeah, if you're into that kind of shit, thumbs up. Go out and buy it now. Otherwise, why? I had to laugh on the complaints. Which, yeah, women, you guys have been put through all kinds of shit. I live with a 90-year-old one. I hear that shit every day of all the shit she had to go through. Which, okay, you're 90 now. The shit's over with. Stop talking about it. But they seem to be bringing up a lot of that on this game. Like, oh, it just treats women horrible and they're all tied up and got bags on their heads and boobs and butts hanging out, blah, blah, blah. What about the naked old guys that keep wanting to come up to me and talk? Because you gotta talk to everybody in this. And so far, every dude in the game is an old, crusty fart knocker with his dick hanging out, butt naked. Pretty much everybody's butt naked. Just tons of freaking nudity. And they're old, and the only thing I can think of to compare it to is when I was having full body chronic pain and got signed up with, well, I tried rehab first and it sucked, so what I did was get signed up with one of the, not gymnasiums, but fitness center type places that goes to the hospital, because they freaking have everything. And they got a nice big pool, they got a nice big locker room, full of old dudes, high as all fuck on Viagra! Thinking that because you're sitting on a machine acting like you're working out, that cute girl across from you, that she won't stop staring at her ass, that you're about 4 times her fucking age, is gonna possibly hit on you because Viagra! Or low T. Yeah, that worked for my neighbor. Yeah, he was on that low T shit, man. Motherfucker still bought another Pomeranian, so yeah, that really worked out for you, dude, on hitting on the women. Otherwise, that's why I quit going. All these motherfuckers are nasty. I think it's called The Onion or something. It's, you can see the guy's cartoons on Facebook or whatever. He does really funny shit. Usually with animals and whatnot. But he did one that was a perfect description of this, to where the young guy's at the gym and he's surrounded by all these butt-naked old dudes talking about the Piggers game, and one guy's just right next to him, foot up on the bench, and the dude's nuts are like right here. Well, I didn't get that much of a fucking fantasy, but no, the fantasy that I got that just is burned in my mind forever. Thank you, Billy Joe Henry Bob, or whatever the fuck your toothless ass name is. I had Captain Morgan foot up on the fucking sink where people wash their fucking hands. Little kids wash their hands in it up there, tripping his balls. Just trim all over the sink, man. Fucking nasty. You could tell he shaved because he had his shaver there. Like, he was going there like, dude, you don't have your own bathroom? Do you live on the fucking street? What? He was shaving his beard and all that crap, which is bad enough because it was all messed up. And then it's like, why, dude? Why did you have to go to the subcoctal territory? Anyways, yeah, that pretty much describes some of this game. Otherwise, might be a male, don't know. The one that put her fucking fist through me had some pretty big breastises, so maybe that is a male. Maybe you get to play as one and get revenge, I don't know. But so far, every time that motherfucker gets in my face, boom! Dead. Dead. And then you go to spirit mode where you're supposed to be able to find somebody to possess or whatever, which they give you a matter of seconds to do, so you're floating around not knowing what the fuck you're doing, and then you just die anyways. So why even have the whole spirit mode thing? Which is kind of fucking retarded, hence you're in fucking hell. So why would you have a spirit mode when you're in hell? Wouldn't you already be a spirit? Or maybe you're just in Arizona, I don't fucking know. Otherwise, yeah, I recommend the living fuck out of this game. Have your whole family in the room, your friends, anybody else you know. If Jehovah's Witnesses come over and knock on your door and want to talk about the word of Jeebus, invite them in and then play this game. You'll never see those motherfuckers again. Who made this shit? That's it. That's what I want to know. Where's the company? Deep Silver. Yeah, Deep Silver dildo up his butt. Yeah, that's... Okay, now for some actually good games. Thank you, Big Mike. You're awesome. You don't give me sick shit. First one here. Stolen from Sam. Because he was an asshole and wrote his name on the cartridge, and then it went to Big Mike. Otherwise, at least I can take it off with a magic eraser. Like, why do y'all have to write your damn names on your games? It's just, are you that freaking paranoid? Otherwise, it's in good shape. Copy of RoboCop versus Terminator. And one for the Genesis here. I already got this loose, but other than it's missing the manual, really good copy. It's one of my favorite games. Got Space Harrier 2. And speaking of the next thing I'm going to be showing here, it's for the 32X. I recommend the shit out of the original Space Harrier for 32X, man. Good freaking port. Okay. Not only am I going to show you what I got from Big Mike, I'm going to gut the son of a bitch to show you guys how high our technology has gotten compared to the freaking 90s. Because, damn. It's not even the newest version of this game. I don't know how many they put out on actual cartridges. Usually with stuff like this, it's for emulation only, where you just download the ROM and play it, but this has been put onto a physical cartridge so you can play it on this physical system, and just damn. I think mine is version 2.2b, and I think they're up to 3.1 now, to where they've added and fixed even more stuff. Where what's left? It's already badass. So anyways, let's start out with this. Or not this. The other this. So for any of you got 32X and got a copy of Doom and love it, loathe it as much as I do, is they really dumbed it down from just shrinking down the screen size to where you got this little freaking screen and then it's all cropped around it, and just graphics and stuff aren't as good. They took out levels, monsters, this, that, and the other, dumped down the sound, and all I can think is it's from the freaking 90s, man. We didn't have the technology we have now for transferring data onto chips to where they had a limit, so they had to do the games within that data limit. A lot of times they were doing these games on a computer, and the computer would be a lot faster than the actual game system, so they'd have to start chopping stuff out. Kind of like the way they do with movies. If it's too freaking long, they chop stuff out. Which this, they did a lot. Anyways, gonna open it up here just so I could do a comparison here. So anyways, it's out of it here. Basically, two big chips. It says Sega. Another smaller chip next to those two. Nothing on the back. And then a capacitor. And looks like a couple of maybe resistors or whatever. Yeah, 3 of them. That's it. That's pretty much what your 32X game's going to look like if you open up an old 32X game card. Remember the look of those. As you can see, all you see in the middle of them is writing. These bastages always fit some way weird. Mind me if I'm taking my time here. I do not want to lose those little screws. Because I'm in here. They will be lost forever. Now for the game that I got from Big Mike. My first homebrew game to add to my collection. Got Doom 32X Resurrection. Oh, you can get it cheap enough, man, snag it. And try and get it from a place to where if you have a problem, you can send it back. So far, I'm pretty much only seeing this on SD, but different looks. Show you this here. That's the artwork on this one. And then I'm seeing some to where it literally looks like this, and then they just added to it. And then a couple or so others, or some of them just say Doom 32X Insurrection and no background picture. And then other ones, they'll have it on a custom-made cartridge to where it's transparent. So hopefully they're all the same. And then I did notice a lot of them do tell you which version of the game. So try and get the highest possible, which, say this one I believe is 2.2B. And 3.1, I don't know when they got up to 3.1, so I don't know if they're doing cartridges or not, or if they're still adding to it. Otherwise, bad ass. it's really freaking close to the version that I played on my computer back in the 90s. I mean, not only have they made it full screen to where you can still adjust the resolution and play around with it, they've upgraded the sound for the background music. Way better. It sucks on the original. This sounds more like you'd have on the computer, man. Just with the best possible sound card. And then, let's see, what else have they done? Yeah, if you want to do 2-player, just you and a buddy, they did split screen mode. So it's just side by side. And then they got some other kind of mode where they were talking about some cable that came out back when the 32X was around, where I guess it made it to where you can link them up to where it was almost like playing online or something. I don't know exactly how it worked, but it's got that. Shit, what else? Got a save feature, so you can save your spot now. There's one thing it's got in it is a battery in the cart there, just like they did with Nintendo games and stuff, to where you can save your spot. And right off the bat, in case I forget, the battery's easily replaceable, at least on this cartridge. It's just stuck in one of those pop-in type things, like a little tray. And I think it's a CR3032 or whatever. It's the one that's standard in a lot of the old game systems for your backup memory. They all use the same type of battery, in fact. I think even your Nintendo Wii's use that type of battery, so easy enough to find. Otherwise, let's see, how far am I think I'm up to level 15. And I think the original only had 15 levels. That's what I haven't been able to find out so far. I was looking it up, and it's like nobody's saying exactly how many levels other than they've added more on. So I don't know how many are on this. And then graphically, the sprites look better. They've added in the creatures that they took out. And just better lighting effects. One thing I noticed on the 32X and my N64, if you hook it up to a newer TV, really, really dark to where you gotta crank up all your freaking settings on the TV for brightness. Which I still kinda do, but not as bad. There were some areas on it to where, yeah, I could have it a little bit brighter to where it's just, you could tell where you're going, kind of. I think it was one of the last levels I played, 14 or 15, to where there was one room to where it was just too damn dark. To where I was just kind of stumbling around trying to find stuff, and it was when I was looking for the key, and it was like right there, but I couldn't see it good. So I kept just probably walking past it. But way better than the other. And, let's see. I keep trying to think of what else they've done, man. It's just mind-blowing. Oh, well, okay, I'm going to show you something else here. Recommend the living shit out of this. I've been playing it to death, and this, go with all the freaking hype. The dude sounds the same way he did back in the 80s. Just wow. And he's like 72 now. Just wow. Judas Priest, Invincible Shield. Oh man, just fucking rocks. Rocks even better if you have a Sega CD with your 32X, so you can pop this in your Sega CD while this is going and have this for your background music. Hence they made it just like the computer, to where if you had a CD-ROM on your computer, you could pop in a music CD, just select CD instead of your sound card, and have your own music. Very freaking cool, man. And just unheard of back in the day on this system, or any other system damn near. God, I think the only other game system I know of that's still pretty freaking old now was the original Xbox. Because it had a hard drive, you could record music onto the hard drive, and then they had a few games like Black, that Covert Ops or whatever type game, they always went off on how many freaking different guns you have. That one, if you pop in a music CD, you can have that for your background music. I mean, not pop in a music CD, but have it pre-recorded onto the system. So I think it's just, go into whatever that file is and just select what album you want to play, and it will play it for your background music. Where this, they literally made it to where if you got everything hooked up, your tower power, you can just pop in whatever music CD you want and just select CD music. So just say, man, it just blows my freaking mind. Okay, now I'll show you why they can do this shit now. I just opened this up last night as I had these in a toolbox buried in my garage. So I had to find my game bits here, but just wow. Okay, the original copy of Doom, basically 3 chips, some possible resistors, and a capacitor all on one side. This, 4 small chips to the back, 2 big and 1 almost twice the size as the other one on the front, plus your battery backup, and it's got the capacitor there. Oh, okay, now that I got it under some light, also has some microchips. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 6 microchips on the back of it with those other larger chips. And then the large chips on the front have chips inside of the chips. This is the kind of shit we couldn't do as far as I know back then, man. This is some advanced stuff. Just wow. All that reflection you're seeing is the chip that's inside, and then they got some kind of transparent whatever stuff is the wires, or thin as a kitten's ass hair. Just way more advanced than the original carts. Yeah, what they got in here is a Maxwell CR2032. Like I say, at least this cart, it just pops out of there if you need to replace your backup battery. But that tells you right there, that's why they're able to do this. Our technology's just gone way up since the freaking 90s, so now they got room to put all that extra stuff onto the game, which kind of tells you there, shit, maybe even if this came out in just 2000, it probably would have gone over better because they would have had enough technology and stuff with the cell phones and everything coming out to where they can shrink things down and have more data on these. Just don't know, man. I think that's a lot of what doomed some of these systems. There were either add-ons or just outright game systems that just didn't go over. The game system itself was pretty freaking powerful, but the stuff these people had to work with on the programming couldn't keep up with it, so they'd have to dumb it down. Otherwise, man, I definitely recommend this game. Definitely. And I'm gonna have to start hunting around online and see how many they've done. Another one that you can definitely find on cartridge now that is damn near arcade quality. They redid Golden Axe for the 32X. Where I think that one they started out with the original Sega game and just made it better. Added in all the stuff that they took out that makes it closer to arcade, just animations and whatnot, and sprites look better, just everything looks better, and your backgrounds and whatnot. And then the music. So same thing. You can get that one on SD. And I saw a few other games, but it was more like prototype ones, where sometimes yeah, it's a new game that you've never seen before, but when it comes to the prototypes, a lot of times it'll just be a few levels because it was unfinished. Or maybe some of these groups like this, they'll get the prototypes and finish it. That was one that I saw. I remember seeing it in the freaking Sega magazines back in the 90s when the 32X was coming out. And I can't remember if it was going to be for 32X or the Saturn. They had one that was called Virtual Hamster, where you're basically a hamster and it's like you're going through the tubes and everything. They got that for the 32X, I believe, where somebody finished it. Wow. It's wow what they can do now, man. It's very cool. I'm hoping like hell Mike could get some more of these homebrews in, because it's just freaking cool. Otherwise, comes to Judas Priest here, and me getting my ass kicked constantly in Elden Ring. If you like that kind of artwork, all kinds of that kind of artwork, where it's just swords and sorcery type stuff. And if you guys haven't heard anything on this yet, you're metalheads, just to look at a lot of that type of artwork, get on YouTube here and look up The Serpent and the King and just find the music video they did for it. All kinds of freaking artwork that's just badass, that looks like it's right out of Elden Ring or similar. Just wow. And they just went all out. Just all out. Like, Rob, did you and the Karate Kid get together and go down to the crossroads and make some kind of freaking deal or some shit, man, for your vocal cords? Because like I say, he still sounds like he did in the 80s. God, man, so many of the bands that I listened to back in the 80s either got on drugs or alcohol or got smothered by fat groupie chicks, and then they lost their voice because of the smothering or whatever, and just they sound like shit now. Motley Crue, prime example. Yeah, it's very, very rare to find some of them that did good, other than like Maiden and Priest and whatnot, man, to where they're doing good. And this year and last year seems to be a lot of music coming out that's new from these old bands to where they're still good. If you guys like the band Accept, they just came out with a new album. Just wow, man. And it sounds good too. It's just, this just blows me away. This blows me away, man. People have been comparing it to a Painkiller, and oh, they're spot on. It's definitely like the next Painkiller album. It's that good. So, put this little booger back together, and 33 minutes, good enough. Hopefully this came out good, or I'm gonna have to lose my freaking shit and break something, because if it's not one thing, it's another. So have a good one, everybody. I do plan on having another video soon enough, as I got some Star Wars related stuff from Big Mike. I'm just in the process of replacing stickers, doing the printer thing, and the size is off, so one of them I got done, the other one, it's driving me crazy. I may just do it half-ass and just replace the worst looking stickers, as most of the originals are okay. Otherwise, more cool Star Wars stuff from Big Mike. He had somebody bring in a whole collection, and I was able to just grab a few things before it all went on eBay. Sold it fast. One of them sick freaking bastages, man, that takes care of their shit. What kind of sick people are there, man, that take care of their freaking shit? I don't get it. I live in Arizona. They're supposed to trash everything, but everything in this guy's collection was just pristine. On damn near every toy, everything. And he was a spoiled brat, as he had freaking everything. So at least I got some of it. Otherwise, man, that's the kind of shit he gets in. So, have a good one, everybody.